That's right, Sweaties. It's episode 98 of Collider Heroes. I'm Jon Schnepp. We're going to talk about the heroes, the villains, and all things cool with comic books. Here we go, live. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, live. We're doing it live. Right over in the corner, we got Robert Meyer Burnett.
It's great to be here. Did you see that Hot Toys announced the Spider-Man Homecoming Spider-Man figure?
I did not. Now, is it the Spider-Man Civil War outfit, or is it him in his like crazy little hoodie?
No, it looks like the Civil War outfit. It looks like it's going to be my favorite of these Spider-Man Hot Toys figures.
Does it have the special Glido webbing weird stuff that they haven't really
I think
revealed?
it probably does, but I didn't see that in the picture. It was just one preview photo, so who knows?
Well, speaking of Hot Toys, we got a Hot Toy right over here. It's Amy Dallen in human form. What's going on? She's not 1/6 scale anymore. It's actually the real Amy Dallen.
Scale. I mean, I don't know how big the window on your computer is. I'm whatever size that is. Hello, good to be here.
Right on. And special guest today is DJ Wooldridge. What's up, DJ?
Hey, how's it going? I'm so excited to be here.
Long time no see. Last time I saw you was possibly at SourceFed Nerd. Is that
probably?
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Right on.
Yeah.
We're going to talk and get really sweaty here. Get ready for it.
I'm so excited.
I've heard you're delightful.
Thank you.
That's what Amy Dallen said.
Yes,
Oh,
it's
wonderful.
True. Last time I
Yes,
saw
yes,
you was
yeah.
at House of Secrets.
That's
so
true.
I'm required to
Fun
say nice
fact:
things.
you were the first person I ever met in Burbank.
Is that true?
Yeah. When we were road trip to get out here, stopped by a comic shop. It was House of Secrets. So you were the first person I met in Burbank.
And
That's
for some
pretty
reason, you
awesome.
stay.
Where'd you
Yeah.
road trip from?
Florida.
Wow, that's
Yes.
a real road trip.
Yeah,
That
it
is
was.
a
It was
real-
nice.
that is a
It was the
commitment.
second time I did it.
Can we all just note that you drove across the country and you were like, finally, I've arrived. First order of business.
Listen,
Comic
it'd
book
been a
shop.
couple of weeks.
Yes.
All right, I needed to catch up.
Hey.
All right.
You don't have to apologize here because we all got you, son. We got you. You know what we also got? We got some news about Nightwing. We have a Nightwing movie that is actually happening. It's been announced. Right. That's what I felt. I was like, what's going on? The Lego Batman director, Chris McKay, is up for directing a brand new live-action Nightwing movie. This news caught everyone off guard and now makes me think that the Titans are actually coming to a theater near you sooner than we thought. McKay recently said on a CBR podcast he's got some of the same negatives as Bruce Wayne. And then from a society standpoint, obviously, he was adopted into Bruce Wayne's life, but he didn't start that way. He's this guy who has all these negatives and then even more negatives, and yet he remains. Those are things that why I like Dick Grayson and why I like the idea of Nightwing as a movie. So let me ask the panel, what does everyone think this means for the DCEU? Amy, we'll start with you.
It is so hard to guess what this means overall, but it does answer the sort of like, I want people to be doing things because they're excited about them, and the fact that this is coming completely out of left field may be like a really good sign because maybe it means that they were like, it means there must be some kind of energy behind it because there certainly wasn't a plan. And so it's fantastic. I have no idea, like, will this Nightwing have been Robin?
Right.
Is it going to be connected to the trauma that turned this version of Batman into the version of Batman we met in Batman v Superman? Is it going to be unconnected? Are they rebooting the whole thing? Are they skipping? Are they having a Nightwing who was never Robin? I have a lot of questions.
Right on.
But cool.
I think those answers will be forthcoming. What about you, DJ? Let's start with you.
What does that statement mean? There are a lot of like, and he's got these negatives, and then there are other negatives, and there's so many. What's he saying?
Well,
Three
he's
negatives
basically-
make a positive.
No, what
It's
he's
a
saying,
math thing?
it was a much larger quote. I took
Yeah.
the smaller, lower third.
That's the quote I saw too, but
Yeah.
it was one of those like I don't.
Well, I think what he was saying is Batman was, born into wealth, but he
Yeah.
also had his family taken away from him. But he was born into this kind of wealthy position, while as in Dick Grayson was not.
He
Yeah.
built
So-
himself about even more from nothing.
Yeah,
in
so
that
he
sense.
actually had a different family upbringing until his family was taken away.
Which
so.
could be really cool to see if if there's a specific take, if people are excited about it, could be great. I am of the opinion I'd rather them not do this movie and not do Cyborg and throw the two together into a Titans movie and just cut out the middleman. Mm-hmm. Just cut straight to it and just
Right
make
on.
a Titans movie.
What about you, Robert?
Well, Nightwing was introduced in the pages of Wolfman and Perez's New Teen Titans.
Issue 42.
And one of my favorite comic covers ever is when, Wally West and Dick Grayson are walking away and they're
suits are in the
Their
trash.
suits are right there on the white.
white
it's a
cover.
Yeah, it's a white cover. And I'm all for a Nightwing movie. They mentioned Bloodhaven and Lego Batman, which I thought was pretty cool because I did finally see it. And
Yay, Lego
I
Batman.
love.
Yeah,
I mean,
Lego
the
Batman.
New Teen Titans is my favorite superhero team of all time after the Justice League of America. And I just wish we could see them evolve because we're seeing these cinematic universes. We're seeing like 3 movies. How cool would it have been to watch these characters transition from the Teen Titans into the Titans? Like that would be their arc. They have a built-in arc throughout these movies.
It sort of seems like he has to be Robin, then a Teen Titan, then a Titan.
Right, and it seems like, look, I get that. I mean, I understand Nightwing's going to be great, but I'll love the movie a lot, and I think it's got a filmmaker behind it that's actually made a movie that's made a lot of money, so it can actually get made. He probably has a great take on it. He probably made a presentation in the studio and said, here's what I want to do, which is what filmmakers should be doing. That's how, Deadpool eventually got made. So I can see it getting made, but as long as they have the Perez Nightwing, the very first Nightwing costume in the movie, I'll be happy.
At least it's like a gag.
No,
just
that
like
gag.
okay.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, sorry.
Gag.
Yeah.
What
The one with
kind
the
of
weird,
heat?
like, blue little
Google
fringe.
Nightwing
Yeah,
V-neck.
Whoever thought that would be easy to draw issue after
I think
issue?
George
I'm like,
Perez was actually, why did I draw that weird stuff on the collar? I got to draw that all the time. You know what? I've got a theory.
Put Starfire in the
I
movie,
think
too.
Nightwing is going to be introduced in Justice League. I think that not only do they have Commissioner Gordon, in Justice League, they're also going to introduce Dick Grayson, and I think he's going to be played by Armie Hammer. Now, a lot of people are saying Armie Hammer might be that Green Lantern. He might be Hal Jordan, and he might be like an Air Force pilot. And there's a Green Lantern that's going to be in there, and it's an alien, and maybe the ring will go flying away somewhere. Maybe we'll see Hal Jordan get the ring in Justice League. I think that's packing a lot of stuff into a 2-hour movie. We're already introducing Aquaman and Flash. And Superman has to come back from the dead. There's a lot of things going on.
Introduce
But
them in Batman v Superman in those videos.
let's not get into that. But I think, the Retribution style thing, which they can bring in Nightwing and have a separate Nightwing and also take care of certain story elements to bring forth into not just Nightwing, but the Batman, is if Ben Affleck truly doesn't want to be Batman anymore, he could pass the cowl on to Dick Grayson, but that doesn't really allow Nightwing to be Nightwing, so maybe they'll get a Nightwing movie first. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Batman's going to stay Bruce Wayne. I think Nightwing, like you said, they're introducing Cyborg. They're going to throw Nightwing into Justice League as well, and Nightwing will carry forth into his own movie, and then we'll get a Cyborg movie and a Teen Titans movie. I think that's the way I think a lot of these decisions that the DCEU is making, where it seems like they're randomly throwing stuff out because we're not in those meeting rooms where they've talked about doing Gotham City Sirens for the last 3 years. Yeah. They've talked about all these. It's not just like a crazy guy with a chalkboard, like, what about this? Like running around. I think they do have some kind of plan, but they're just not announcing it, I guess, the right way. I think if you look at the right way to announce it, you kind of state your plan, which Marvel has done, and they stuck to it except for the Inhumans. If you look at DC, they've had a lot of issues with sticking to their plan, and they're rearranging and moving stuff around. That doesn't mean that they're failing. I mean, a lot of people can say, well, they're screwing up. I could be of that opinion, and then I could look at other sides to it and see, well, they're actually doing things to try to rectify the situation. I think Nightwing is something as a positive move forward.
Well,
I'd be less confused if they hadn't laid out a specific film slate that seems now to be sort of meaningless. Like, the individual moves that they end up making, I'm excited about and excited to give a chance to. It's just I think it'll be easier if we all just forget that they announced a slate of specific movies.
Well, there's 15
with
movies. It's easy to forget that because they've announced 15 movies are coming out in 5 years. That's not even possible. They got Justice League Dark. Let's not forget about all the other movies. And then we also have Shazam and Black Adam and Nightwing, and your Gotham City has. What the hell?
By the way,
what about Man of Steel 2?
I was going to say what you said, though. If Armie Hammer is playing Nightwing in a bit role, I think this might come as a result of they are so happy with the performance. I think Armie Hammer's a great actor.
Yep.
I think they've been trying to force him to become a movie star without allowing. I mean, it's like he was great in Social Network, and he was great as Ilya Kuryakin in Man from U.N.C.L.E. He was great.
He was amazing.
He was amazing. And look, did
And
Lone Ranger?
he was awesome as Batman in Justice League Mortal. Oh, right, that didn't happen. I'm sorry.
But I do think he's got the look. He's definitely got the voice. And if he did play a bit part in this movie, they looked and they're like, this guy is a breakout star. They go to their stable of filmmakers that are already, in good with them, and they say, look, we've seen this guy. We like his character. We've already seen him on screen because there's a cut of Justice League floating around somewhere before they finish the effects and all that. Right. So they know. Yeah. The studio knows. And if they're going to greenlight this movie, I'll bet you they've already got him in mind because they're not going to be like, well, who are we going to get to play Nightwing? They already know.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and it also helps that, they have Chris McKay's interested because I loved his take on Dick Grayson. Obviously a more lighthearted take.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's honestly my favorite, not that there's a lot to choose from, but it's my favorite big screen Robin. Like, I loved it. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is a guy that it clearly... loves the idea of the Batman family and loves Dick Grayson in particular. Yeah. Can we call him Richard? Can we retire Dick? Nobody
Just
calls anybody Dick anymore. It doesn't.
Rick or Rich
It's
or
his
anything.
name is Richard Grayson. We can just if Jimmy Olsen can be James now. No,
Richard.
do I have any support here?
My
Boddicker
dad's
has the
name
best
was-
thing when he's like
Well, kids can
Boddicker
be
from
cool.
RoboCop when he's like, "That's right, Dick."
Yeah.
You know, you got to keep that around.
Right. It's true. My dad's name was Dick. I mean Richard, but
Richard.
He was Dick Burnett. Dickie Bird, as my mom used to say.
Ah, nice.
I don't know what that means, but
That's cute.
rest
You know
in
what
peace,
else is
Dad.
cute? New Mutants. They are cute. We're moving on. X-23, X-Force. There's so much X going on, starting with Logan in just a couple days, ripping its way into theaters. Go see that movie. In my mind, this is the first X-Men movie that could be nominated for Best Picture. It deserves an Oscar already in my mind. We have a new X-Men movie with Jean Grey coming out called Supernova. We've got Joe Carnahan writing, possibly directing X-Force. We've got James Mangold saying he'd be interested possibly in making an X-23 film. Mr. Sinister's coming according to Kinberg. Kinberg also mentions Alpha Flight as a possibility. Josh Boone is directing the Bill Sienkiewicz Demon Bear New Mutants movie. What excites you the most? We got some X craziness. Let's start with you, DJ.
Oh man, I want Phantom X in the X-Force movie. Please and thank you.
Nice.
That's it.
Amy?
Yeah, I'll take it. You just said a lot of things that I really love. I've been sort of confused about the overall direction of the X films. I'm never going to be thrilled that they're in a separate universe, but like I'm lining up for all those movies. I'm probably most excited for the Josh Boone New Mutants because we sort of heard the most concrete stuff about that one.
Right.
And it really seems to come out of people with a passion for particular material, and that excites me.
Most definitely. The Josh Boone New Mutants is definitely very exciting. When they mentioned and they released a couple of weeks ago the Demon Bear storyboards. If you're unfamiliar with this is a story arc from the 80s New Mutants with Bill Sienkiewicz doing some mind-blowing artwork. And basically all these characters that, you know, we've come to know and love. Magic, got Wolfsbane, a whole bunch of these different characters. Cannonball. So
Danny
many of these
Moonstar.
Moonstar. And with that kind of, I want to see how they actually interpret the artwork of Bill Sienkiewicz in live action. And that's very exciting. Joe Carnahan doing a hard R X-Force. I keep joking. It's Narc with mutants. I mean, I cannot wait to see that movie. Robert, how about you?
Oh, but also the mangled X-23, obviously, I would be in line for.
Yes.
now.
Absolutely. I first of all, I met Joe Carnahan at a film market back in 1997 when he was there with his film Blood, Guts, Bullets, and Octane, which is people said was a Tarantino sort of a ripoff. I was there with a movie I cut called The New Gods, and when I met him and saw his movie, I loved his movie. And you know, at this film market, there's like 8 people in each screening, and I was one of the 8 people watching his movie, and I was blown away by it. I was like, this. And I went up and talked to him, and he was so enthusiastic and just so in my face and so excited about movies and cinema. And I loved Narc. I thought Narc was great. I thought what he's done, I mean, with the Gray, not the Gray. Yeah, the Gray.
Oh, yeah, the Gray. He did that.
The Gray, and with even
Smoking
A-Team.
Aces.
Smoking Aces and A-Team. I mean,
Stretch, which was straight to Netflix, is an amazing film.
Amazing
You
film.
Check it out. It's on Netflix. Watch that.
And I think he's the perfect director to
Yes.
do X-Force. I think his entire career is going to coalesce in that film.
Speaking of, I want to see Chris Pine in X-Force playing some drugged out freak. Because if you haven't seen Stretch and you haven't seen Chris Pine in Stretch, get on it.
Oh, and
He is-
Smoking Aces, too.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, there's so much X going on. I don't even know what to really think about it. I want to see Alpha Flight. I've been waiting to see Alpha Flight. Hopefully they do a good adaptation of Alpha Flight. But yeah, there's so many X-Men movies that just kind of been percolating for so long, and then all of a sudden they're just like, we're going to just announce all of them. Just like DC, there's like, here's 40 movies. You're like, ah! You know, it's a lot.
Quick question for you guys. I want to know your thoughts. So we've got the New Mutants, right? And we've got
Mm-hmm.
Cable showing up in Deadpool 2. What version of X-Force do you think we're going to see? Because the traditional one is made up mostly of New Mutants.
Right.
Yeah.
Cannonball, Sunspot, the like. Do we think we're going to have the New Mutants and then the more modern version of X-Force?
Without getting into spoilers with Logan, I can't answer that if anyone else has seen
Oh.
Logan. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I know the version of New Mutants that Josh Boone is working on is the traditional 80s version.
Yeah.
With Magic and Lockheed and all these different characters with Warlock, who will probably be in the second New Mutants film. The first movie is just going to take place with Demon Bear. But I think the version that we'll see of X-Force is Domino. We're going to see Cable.
It's the Liefeld
Yeah.
version.
Rob
of X-Men.
Liefeld's X-Force is what we're going to see. So, because Deadpool is going to introduce some of those characters,
Yeah.
but then X-Force is going to expand and be an actual, you know, action movie, probably a lot of agents fighting agents, secret agents, superhero powered stuff. So
they might just make up some originals and add them in. That wouldn't surprise me to take the place. Like, I don't know if they're gonna put, like, for instance, Archangel in there, and they're probably not gonna take the New Mutants kids. Like, I hope they wouldn't take Reed Sinclair and like wolf her out for this. That would be a little
I don't
too
want to
soon
see
and out
that
of
either.
character. Like,
You know, I was surprised seeing, you know, I've been watching Legion, but I guess I just didn't watch the end credits. But Sienkiewicz is credited.
oh yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
a big full on credit with him and
full-on
Claremont.
screen- Him and Claremont,
Yeah.
single, I mean, they share a card, but the fact that they're given credit for that character, I was like, wow, that's great.
That's Noah Hawley because he's awesome.
Yeah, he's amazing. I
Yeah.
need Professor X to show up in that show.
I finally caught up on Legion, and I'm so excited about it. Like, my only objections relate to the fact where I'm like, why isn't this just the X-Men? They went to a secret
Yeah,
facility
I
where they're
know.
training him to use
They've
his
got
telepathy, and
X's
it's
on the
everything I've
windows.
ever wanted, except the person getting the telepathy lesson isn't Jean Grey.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm so confused, but I'm into it.
Well, Amy, sometimes we can't get exactly what we wish, but
if you
it
try
is delivered in
sometime,
some awesome. Hey, you might
just
get
might
it, it's
find you
fine.
get what you need.
There we go. And that moves right into we got what we needed with Matt Reeves saying yes, he's going to direct the Batman. This is the crazy world of Batman, ladies and gentlemen. I, for one, am glad the dust has settled. We've got a very talented director. Matt Reeves has officially come on board after some heated back and forth, people walking away from tables and such, and stated, I have loved the Batman story since I was a child. He's such an iconic and compelling character and one that resonates with me deeply. I'm incredibly honored and excited to be working with Warner Brothers to bring an epic and emotional new take on the Caped Crusader to the big screen. Ben Affleck later that day also welcomed him to the Batcave online, basically saying, welcome to the Batcave, seemingly insinuating that he's not going anywhere. He's going to be playing Bruce Wayne. He's going to be playing Batman. He didn't say he isn't or is, but everyone's saying, look, he's saying welcome to the Batcave and taking that in a positive way. I'm gonna take that in a positive way too. At the same time, we've got the Nightwing announcement we talked about. We've also got Catwoman. She's going to be appearing in Gotham City Sirens. Is the DCEU finally cementing the Batman family as part of their cinematic universe? Now, we know that the Joker and Harley Quinn killed a version of Robin because we see the little, costume with all the ha-has written on it and bullet holes and other such things. So what do you think, Amy? Are we going to see Batgirl in Gotham City Sirens?
Batgirl in Gotham City Sirens. You know, it would be an interesting way to introduce it. We've now seen a number of different versions of Batgirl. There obviously are canonically several different Batgirls in the comics. It would be interesting to do that in Sirens just because you have a lot of work to do, and the question of whether she'd be an antagonist or whether they'd end up teaming up or whether you just give her sort of Suicide Squad style, like a couple of scenes that relate to somebody's backstory would be very interesting. If they did that, I hope that would be a tryout for a solo movie, which I would love to see, if we're doing Nightwing and all this other stuff. But like overall, the Matt Reeves Batman announcement is very good news. I'm glad to have something settled. I'm glad that there is a plan going forward. I don't know how they're going to interconnect all of these things, but I'm just kind of crossing my fingers at this point.
Yeah, we don't know if they're going to be using Ben Affleck and Jeff Johns' script either, because I guess Chris Terrio did a brand new rewrite, and that's the script that they're going to be using. So we'll have to just take a wait and see. But them getting a very talented director like Matt Reeves on board, I think, is a good call. What about you, Robert?
Look, again, movie making is a process. It's very iterative. Things change, and it's not like they made this a cast in stone announcement about the Batman movie. It's been up in the air from the beginning. The fact that Ben Affleck came out at the Academy Awards with Matt Damon to do a presentation, which by the way was very funny, as Matt Damon was it was Ben Affleck and guest.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Ben Affleck looked very Bruce Wayne-like to me. He looked very debonair and dapper. I mean, all these stories that paint him out to be this kind of maybe not as well, not a well man. He looks fine. I'm sure he's going to be fine. That's the way the world is. I'm sure it's fine. I can't wait. I think it's really exciting. I can't wait to see War of the Planet of the Apes. Bring it on.
Yeah, apes on horses in tanks.
And again, we act like studios. Business is business, and things are. The sands of Hollywood are constantly shifting. You never know what's going to happen. How many scripts have not been made in the world? So the idea that we get all we speculate because it's our job on this show. But I think that the Batman film. Ben Affleck is still a world-class filmmaker. Even Live by Night is a world-class film. It looks tremendous. I really enjoyed it. I think the movie is in good hands, and I can't wait to see it. Let's all get behind it and hope it's great.
DJ?
I think it's going to be great. They've done great work with the Batman movies in the past. Matt Reeves is a great director. I would have been fine if they were like, guess what? we're not doing another Batman movie for a while. I've had plenty of Batman. I enjoy seeing him interact with other heroes more because we haven't seen that on the big screen yet. And I would be way down with a Barbara Gordon Batgirl movie. In fact, I'd kind of rather see that first than a Nightwing movie because I just think it'd be different. It'd be different.
I'm with you on the let's see some different things. So I'm excited about DC announcing all these movies because I'll see all of them. I actually want. I'm like,
Yeah,
please
same
make
here.
15 movies in 5 years. I dare you because I'll see all of them, and I think a lot of us will all see all of them.
Yeah. Well, I just think this rivalry, especially in the fan community, is sort of odd.
It's super
It
odd.
I mean, if you look at like the Marvel films, I loved Captain America: Winter Soldier as a movie, but I like crime espionage films, and that's kind of what that is. But when you're watching Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, whatever you think of that film, it's an incredibly ambitious movie that has amazing visuals, and it's a lot of fun to watch from a sweaty perspective.
Sure.
I mean, I pit out when I watch that movie. It's so sweaty. I look at that. It's a very different movie than what the Marvel Cinematic Universe was doing, say, in their Captain America films.
Yes. Yeah.
And the idea that we're going to get a Justice League movie in mere months.
Yeah.
In less time than I'm going to get to see Stranger Things season 2.
That's right.
I mean, we're getting a Justice League movie, which is the culmination of a childhood dream that I've had, and
yeah.
it looks fantastic.
And with Jack Kirby's Fourth World integrated into it, how crazy is that?
I mean, the ambition of what they're trying to do is worthy of song and celebration.
That's right.
So I can't wait. Bring it on.
Well said. I think all of us want the Justice League movie to be incredible.
Yeah.
None of us want DC to fail. So I mean, like,
No.
I think
Why
a lot
would we
of,
want that?
Well, but unfortunately, a lot of comments and people watching sometimes they like interpret if like I say I didn't like Batman v Superman, which I didn't, and I'm very you can watch all the reviews and that stuff that I've said about it. Didn't like it. I like the ultimate cut, but the theatrical cut has so many problems. We won't even go into it. But that doesn't mean that I don't like Man of Steel. I actually really enjoyed Man of Steel, and that I don't want the DC universe to actually thrive and be successful. And of course, I can't wait to see a Batman movie. He's one of my favorite characters. So I think everyone's got to chill a little bit with their like, you're a Marvel head or you're a DC head. Look, we love comic books. We love the comic book characters. We love the mythology from the comics and all those things that come from it. Obviously, the CW universe is having a lot of fun, and I'm having a lot of fun enjoying the CW universe, be it Flash or Supergirl Legends of Tomorrow. I'm not on that arrow kick yet. I'm going to eventually get to it. It's just too many seasons.
Yeah.
There's too many
It's
episodes.
good though. This season's been amazing though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wish
really
you
dig
wouldn't
this
say
season.
that because now that means I have to watch it.
I started with Arrow, so I'm on board with Arrow till the end.
So this is the 5th season?
Yeah.
Oh my God! What are you trying to do to me, CW?
Listen, there's an episode where he uses a trick arrow to latch onto a helicopter, and as the helicopter is spinning out of control, he's running around punching people in the face.
All right, I'm gonna have to
If
see
that
this
didn't
movie.
sell you,
I'm sold on that.
Tell me,
Yeah.
don't even tell me what episode it is because now I'm gonna have to just forcefully
watch 'em
watch
all.
on that. That's the one. I'm an old man dying. You know what? Let's go right into minor mutations. We've got a lot of them this week. There's a lot of little tidbits because there's so much news that happened over this week. I'm just gonna rock through them and then we're all gonna just pick and choose what we want to talk about. Number 1 off of minor mutations. That's right. Will a Green Lantern appear in the Justice League movie? Rumor has it an alien. We don't know what the alien is. Going to be Scrimscromp, Groot, Flibby Flom, Gnort, Abensur. We don't know who's going to show up, but it's going to be some alien. It's not going to be a human being. Who the hell knows? I can't wait to see this movie. Add more people. Number 2, we got Guardians trailer for the trailer has just been announced. It's coming out on Jimmy Kimmel later tonight on Tuesday. There's a 30-second trailer for the trailer. It's got a whole bunch of Drax just sipping and chewing and making sounds. And then they're saying, what? And he's what? Dude, what? Dude, what? So just watch it. Is Mel Gibson directing Suicide Squad 2? We don't know about what Mel Gibson's going to do. We'll find out, I guess. Kurt Russell, it's first look of, check him out, man. There
Dude,
he
is
is.
that a hot toy or what?
That's Ego the Living Human. I don't see a
Wow.
planet yet. There better be Ego the
better
Living
be a
Planet.
planet with a face.
There better be a planet with a face and a beard, or there's going to be hell to pay. But you know what? Gunn will not jack us. We are going to see that because I trust in Gunn. David Ayer reveals Black Mask as the villain for Gotham City Sirens. Is this the case? He's tweeting about it, and I'm 100% on board. I said this earlier, Red Skull meet Black Mask. Bam, that's a really badass villain. Number 6, we got Suicide Squad concept art of the Joker meeting Batman. Why was that not in the movie? That just angers me. I see there's a lot of concept art, like Harley Quinn with a wedding dress. Not just concept art, they shot it. Yeah. And so there's so much stuff that's on the cutting room floor of Suicide Squad that there's probably a second movie if they wanted to make one. They could. Unfortunately, they didn't shoot this. This was the idea of the Joker meeting Batman in Suicide Squad, which really should have happened, but whatever, it didn't. Number 7, the Russos Instagram some close-up sprockets or holes or whatever the hell it is, and people go crazy because I guess it's something to do with Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War, Infinity Fun, Infinity Gems, Infinity Holes. I don't know what that is.
Maybe they're finally doing the Mike Myers movie.
But it's very possible. Sprockets. That's right. They're like, we quit Infinity War. Now we're doing sprockets. We've got Maximus. That's right. As Amy Dallen mentioned last week, Ewan Ryan. Am I saying it right? Ewan Ryan. I can't say his name. The guy from Bolton, the evil bastard from Game of Thrones, is cast as Maximus in the Inhumans. And now we're hearing that some dude from Lost, one of the 80 people who was cast as a character in Lost, is possibly cast in the Inhumans. I'm not even going to play that guessing game. I'm just glad this guy is playing Maximus because he played a jerk. A real jerk in Game of Thrones.
They cast Black Bolt today, too.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, hold on. Let's get through this, and you guys tell me, because I did not hear this. I've been doing these shows all day. I'm cut out of the reality section of life. All right, Wonder Woman. That's right, Wonder Woman's concept art. It looks beautiful. There's a whole bunch of it online. Check it out. With number 10, we got Cress Williams has been cast as CW's Black Lightning. They're rocking a pilot. We don't know if they might go to full series. 11, we've got the Fantastic Four will not return until they get it 100% right. And the only way that's going to happen is when they give it back to Marvel. Number 12, did we mention that Suicide Squad, I can't even speak, Suicide Squad won an Oscar, while Batman and Robin actually won, Batman v Superman won 4 Razzies. What a world we live in. What pops off to you? And let's just get right into this. Who is cast as Black Bolt?
It was the lead guy from Hell on Wheels, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy from Hell on Wheels.
I haven't seen it, but
What's his name?
is it good?
And I forget his name.
Well, look it up.
Fine.
What else
He's
pops
a
off?
handsome boy. They cast a handsome boy to play Black
Yes,
Bolt.
they did.
What?
I guess he doesn't have to say much.
Yeah.
No, I was
Yeah,
going to say,
that's
did you
right.
tell him? He's like looking at the script going, where are my lines?
Bring me my Medusa. That's
yeah.
what I need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
The announcements are coming fast and furious. What do you want to talk about?
Black
on that
Lightning.
list?
I'm so on board.
So exciting.
I'm really excited about this. I know he's got a huge fan base of people who are looking forward to this, and hopefully it'll join this wonderful CW pantheon
Yeah.
that we are talking about.
The actor's name is Anson Mount.
There it is.
He is
That's
playing
right.
Black Bolt, and he shall be silent. Maybe you'll hear his inner thoughts while he's like, I wish I could talk. I wish I could tell you how much I love you, Medusa. That's not
Yeah.
going to happen.
I
Well,
kinda
maybe
She
it will.
knows.
She knows.
You know, Black Lightning, I kind of wish it was a 70s period piece. So
That
he
would've
could
been
have the
cool.
open, the open V-neck with maybe velour.
You have
like
like a
the
V-neck thing.
Yeah.
Look,
The
I do. I
classic
like the V-neck.
costumes.
And a little chest hair.
Yeah.
And the cool lightning bolts on the front.
There we go.
Listen,
Like
he's
that
supposed to have
70s.
hung up the costumes, so maybe his original costume's that, and the costume he
See?
brings back is the more modern.
I like this idea.
As long as there's like a reference, a throwback, Jewel style
Sure,
from Jessica
like Luke
Jones,
Cage,
it's
where
like
he's
the
in the
costume
yellow
I almost
outfit.
put on,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
that.
Where
Yeah,
they
yeah.
get the little flavor nugget in
Do
there.
it,
This
make it happen.
doesn't it look weird? Yeah, I don't know if you
And
want to see
maybe
that
I just
in
want them to
reality.
introduce maybe some of the outsiders in the show. Like,
That'd
I'd
be
love to
cool.
see Halo.
That'd be fun.
Well, I hope they give Trevor Von Eden some creator credit because he actually came up with Black Lightning. He was the artist of Black Lightning. So
That would be
there's that
fantastic
credit.
Awesome.
artist he is.
I'm hoping that they introduce some of the. I've been waiting for them to introduce some of the milestone characters to any live action
Right.
universe, and so like maybe Black
What's
Lightning.
the current stat? I know
Great
that
question.
DC picked up milestone characters in some regard.
Right.
They're bringing
but
it back, aren't they?
As
they
in comics,
do
yes,
that
we don't know what they're doing
on and
yet.
off over time. It's
Yeah.
kind of confusing,
Right.
but I don't. Do they have the movie rights or TV rights for them?
Unsure about that. I would
I
like
don't
to
know
see them
either.
bring in Static Shock into the DC universe.
I
But I
would-
don't know how they're going to work all those rights. And
I was
stuff.
desperately hoping somebody when Flash would call the accelerator explosion the Big Bang,
Hmm.
and that we'd see some milestone characters as metahumans on
That's
that
a cool
show
idea.
because that would have been so cool.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
cool.
I want to talk about Green Lantern.
Sure.
I need a Green Lantern in the Justice League movie. It's not a Justice League movie without Green Lantern. Here's my suggestion. DC, I hope you're listening. You start off the movie, giant space army from Apocalypse is coming, tears through a big army of Green Lanterns. One of them falls to Earth. It's Ryan Reynolds, Hal Jordan. As he's dying, the Ring leaves his finger to go find Jon Stewart, who we see in a later movie.
I love that suggestion.
great idea.
And it also ties in. You don't even have to tell the Sinestro Yellow Ring story. You're like, that happened somewhere else in
Yeah,
the
don't worry
past.
about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. There's parademons. That's
Yeah.
enough. I love that suggestion. Anybody else got anything they want to talk about from Minor Mutations?
Well, I do like the Wonder Woman that piece of art that we showed with the hood and the out. I don't know why, but I have this really good feeling about Wonder Woman. I think the movie is going to be extraordinary, and I really hope the fact that it's set in World War One. That was an audacious choice, and I'm sure somebody said, "Do we have to?" I can imagine the studio notes. It doesn't have to be World War One. Like, why does it have to be World War One? And if we get to see Ares, like, if we get to see the George Perez version of Ares, like at the end, like I don't know if we are gonna, but I'll lose my shit. I mean, my stuff.
I think you are going to lose your shit. and
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm gonna lose it.
Everything is going to be lost. Just make sure you're near a bathroom.
I'm gonna wear
'cause you don't wanna
Depends.
have
No,
to-
I'm gonna wear Depends.
That's okay.
I'm gonna be good.
We don't want us in these
can't
kinds
wait.
of explosive situations in a
It's
packed
cool.
house.
We've only waited 75 years.
Yeah,
Plus
that's
Gal
true.
Gadot, man.
That's very
Come on.
true.
Yeah, there's an action figure that's been doing the rounds, a picture of an action figure that I don't know if it's legit of what Ares is supposed to
It
look
is
like.
legit.
Yeah, we talked about
It
that. We
looks
think it's
dope.
legit.
Oh yeah, we
It
talked
looks
about it last
so
week.
cool.
It's legit because it's part of the movie action figures.
It looks so amazing.
You get to put Ares together. He's got a big, like, weird, crazy skull
Yeah,
piece.
yeah.
I think it really works. It looks like Ares, but it's like it's based on Perez's design, but they
Sure.
kind of changed it a little bit, which
But
I
that's
think is
all
fine.
I want. I mean, that's what I will strap on an extra set of Depends, knowing that that's coming.
You know what? Let's talk about Suicide Squad 2, because I personally, I would like a redemption story. Like, I didn't hate Suicide Squad. I actually enjoyed it.
Same here.
I had a problem with the ending. All that, and like, why do there's metahumans fighting a sorceress, and they didn't really get to even really use. I mean, Captain Boomerang threw a boomerang with a camera on it. I mean, there was like a lot of misuse of all the characters, and they totally fumbled the Joker. So all the potential was there and set up within the first hour of the movie. The delivery, I love Diablo, but everything just kind of worked against itself. And I think it's because of studio meddling. I think David Ayer is like, look, man, I'm going to get my chance to make it right by doing Gotham City Sirens and actually do the movie I want to make. So I really feel like, he went out and wrote a really nice letter to everyone. He didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And I think, I've got my faith in him to make a really great film. But I also think giving it to someone like Mel Gibson, who doesn't like superhero films, who's totally, made fun of Batman v Superman, a lot of other films. I don't know if that's the smartest idea. I mean, he's a great director. He did Apocalypto. He's got Hacksaw Ridge. He won a bunch of Oscars. I just don't know if he's the right fit for Suicide Squad 2. I think what you got to do is you have to get someone who actually understands who the Suicide Squad are and why you got to get an action film director who, I mean, possibly it could be Mel Gibson, but we'd have to be in the right frame of mind. We don't know who's writing this. David Ayer at least wrote and directed a film that then he had screwed with and changed and ruined in certain ways. I don't know what do you guys think about Mel Gibson? And if not him, who? Robert.
Well, I think here's the one thing about. First of all, Mel Gibson is an incredible film director. Apocalypto is an incredible film. Braveheart is an incredible film. Hacksaw Ridge is a great film. But Mel Gibson has a friend. He has another friend who's another filmmaker named George Miller. And I think that if Mel Gibson, I don't think this is a work for hire thing. Mel Gibson is part of the Warner Brothers family all the way back to when Warner Brothers released Road Warrior in 1982. I know it came out in 81, Scott Mance, in Australia. But in America, it came out in May of 1982. I think that he's probably taking the film for a reason if they offered it to him, because they'll be making that concurrently with Gotham City Sirens. And I think that I think Mel Gibson has probably talked to George Miller about what it's like to direct a superhero film because of Justice League Mortal. And they probably were talking about it 15 years ago.
Right.
And maybe Mel Gibson was excited about the idea, talking to his friend George, about doing a movie like this. So maybe it was his idea. So if he's passionate about the film, bring it on, because, again, a world-class filmmaker getting a shot at making this kind of material is a good thing for everybody.
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't know. It would surprise me if Mel Gibson takes it. Just because it doesn't seem like he's interested, and it seems like he's trying to do prestige pictures like Hacksaw Ridge and stuff like that. Right. Who I was just trying to think of, like, who would be a really good director? Sam Raimi, especially with some of his Gonzo.
Good call.
Like,
he hasn't really gotten into the
call.
DC world yet, and
Yeah.
it would be great to see him, especially with this like down and dirty squad. you know?
And it's like, and one of the things I loved, his first Spider-Man movie is one of my all-times. Was the first movie I really fell in love with. And I think some of his sensibilities, going back to Darkman and stuff like that, would really fit a lot of those characters really well.
I'm super down with that suggestion, actually.
I like it better than Mel Gibson, but I wouldn't be mad if Mel Gibson finally they're like, look, Mel Gibson's doing Suicide Squad 2. I'd be like, bring it.
Yeah.
Where's that trailer? I can't wait to see what they do.
By the way, I also want to
don't
mention, just
know.
because I don't want people to get mad, Passion of the Christ is also an incredible film. I mean, from a filmmaking perspective, no matter what your religious beliefs are, it's still an amazing motion picture.
Yeah.
Hard to sit through.
Gibson has incredible talent, but he obviously also comes with some baggage.
Right,
And I'd
yeah.
rather, I'm kind of hoping that it just works out in a way where I don't have to decide whether I want to see Mel Gibson's Suicide Squad.
Sure.
So I'm kind of hoping they go in another direction.
Yeah, it's very possible they will. Let's go in another direction. Independent Corner. It's a new thing I'm going to do every once in a while. I'm going to bring up comic books and people trying to make comics and people who've made comics independently. Right off the rack, I'm going to say Malachi Ward is a name to look for. Let's bring up his comic book Ancestor. Now, I picked that up about 5 or 6 months ago. That's incredible artwork. It's really cool. It's really imaginative. I saw him at the Pasadena Comic-Con convention just this past week. Let's look at some of this other artwork that
I
he's
got to talk to
got.
Malachi. He's super cool.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. His art style is very unique, different, surreal, creepy, suspenseful, everything about it, magical.
So cool.
It's beautiful. What's this other one here? Bam. So, yeah, take a look him up. His name is Malachi Ward. He's got Ancestor. Check that out. And then right next to me, we got DJ, and you got a comic book that you are crowdfunding right now.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at some of the imagery from that. Let's pop that up.
It's called Chaos Theory: Zombies versus Dinosaurs. It delivers exactly what is promised. You get the extinct versus the undead as a group of humans is trying desperately to survive. And it was one of those ideas that was so crazy I couldn't not do it. And it felt, and for my first comic, this is my first comic. I loved the medium for a long time. I wanted to do something that I could only see as a comic. You know what I mean? That was specific to that medium, and this is the idea I went with. The way I pitch it, you guys have probably seen the Dawn of the Dead remake, Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. At the end of the movie where they sail off to a tropical island to try and escape the zombies. What if that island was the Jurassic Park island?
Ooh, and there were zombies.
Yeah, and there were zombies, and there is a zombie dinosaur. Our big bad is the Z-Rex.
Nice.
And people have been super receptive to it, have been really into it. We've reached 100% of our funding goal. We've blown past both of our stretch goals so far. And so we've got 3 days left. So if you want to get your hands on the comic, if you want to get your hands on some of our rewards, like there's trading cards featuring the characters and creatures from the comic. There's a print from our cover artist, Tom Neely, talking about indie comics.
Tom Neely's awesome,
Yeah,
man.
he's amazing. He did our cover. He'll sign a print for you. There's a special print for Only Stupid Answers fans of me and Sam from Only Stupid Answers as our favorite superheroes.
Is Tom Neely still doing Humans?
I believe so. Yeah.
So
I
you
believe
check
they're
that out
working
as
on-
well.
Yeah,
It's like an
you can-
amazing series, also independent. Tom Neely's another name to drop into the hat of independent creators.
Henry and Glenn Forever, The Blot. Like
Yes.
I was so stoked to get him to do the cover for me, and it's so amazing. It's such a cool cover.
Can I ask a question, though?
Yeah.
If your Z-Rex is the big bad, does
Yes.
the Z-Rex, I assume that's a zombie Rex?
Yes.
Does that mean he doesn't eat humans and he only eats other dinosaurs?
He'll eat anything. Well, here's the thing: my zombies kind of work on a hive mind. So whatever the biggest, baddest thing in the room is, kind
like
of
that.
directs the rest of them.
Nice.
So he's kind
Cool.
of on the island. He's kind of the big boss. And today, I'm announcing exclusive right here the final stretch goal because we only got 3 days. If we make 18,000, I'm going to add a 4-page digital short story that continues, that's part of the world, and there will be a new zombie dinosaur that contributors to this comic will get to vote on what dinosaur they'd like to see as a zombie. And this
Nice.
4-page short story, black and white 4-page short story that all contributors to the $28 tier and up will be getting. That's our last stretch goal. We've only got a few days to make it, so we'll see if it happens.
And so if they go to Kickstarter, what do they look under?
It's Indiegogo.
It's Indiegogo,
You
okay.
can go to chaostheorycomic.com.
ChaosTheoryComic.com.
That'll take you to the Indiegogo, and we got plenty of rewards. A lot of them will be gone once the campaign is over, and you won't be able to find them anymore. So if you want the cards, if you want the prints, this is your chance to get them. Because we made our last stretch goal, the original comic will be a prestige quality comic, which is the way I've always wanted to present
Man.
it. So it's going to be it's going to be signed by me. It's going to be a really nice comic. I wanted to give somebody when you get like
cool.
a
I
nice
think
print of
that's-
the comic.
DJ, congratulations. And, I wanted to start up this creator corner just to kind of let everyone know about making comics. And there's so many people. Our own Jason Inman and Ashley V. Robinson ran a very successful Kickstarter last month. It was incredible. It's Jupiter Jet,
Yep.
and it made almost double the money they were asking for.
Yep.
I'm so proud of them. I got to go get lunch with somebody because I was part of one of their Kickstarter rewards, and it sold amazingly. I don't know why. Nobody wants to hang out with my dumbass, but now you have to have lunch with me and Jason. And Ashley.
Congratulations to the person who wanted to hang out with your dumbass.
Well, yes, but we're gonna have this every other week or so, and we're gonna spotlight a couple of different comic book creators. Anybody out there who wants to make comic books, you can do exactly what DJ did. Make your own comics. comics. You can write your own comics. You can draw your own comics. Guess what? There's no budget applied to a comic book. It's your mind. It's your imagination. And if you can't draw, find someone who can draw and team up with them.
Yeah, pay them.
Yeah.
Pay the artist. That's definitely important because people don't want to live in their mom's basement forever.
Nope.
So that's the kind of the breakout thing is like, hey, you can do exactly what you want. You don't have to worry about a studio okaying $100 million, $200 million. You have $1 billion. Make that comic book with your mind. So do it. I want to see it. All of us will probably want to appreciate it and love it. Can't wait to check out the zombie dinosaurs. Thanks, DJ. Very happy that you got that going on. We are going to rock into the Twitter universe. Your questions, starting with Cecil Hops. I think the Oscars really want to nominate a superhero movie. Could Logan be that movie? Well, Cecil, you Aussie nerd, yes. I think that Logan, I know it's coming out in March, and we got many more
Friday.
months. Yeah, this Friday. It's literally coming out in a couple days. I saw it already. I can't wait to see it. I'm seeing it again tomorrow. And I cannot wait to see it at least another time with a giant audience of people freaking out because this movie is incredible. I talked about it last week. It's such an incredible movie. It's a moving experience. It's truly, it's beyond superheroes. It's a sci-fi Western. It's like, it transcends the medium. So I highly recommend going to see it immediately Friday. If you can see it Thursday night, go get your tickets. I'm not pointing you in the wrong direction. I'm pointing you in the right direction to see Logan. I think, it can be nominated. Did any of you guys see it yet?
No, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous.
Well, don't be jealous. It's coming out in a couple days.
Yeah, I know, but you saw it early. Is it? See if you can answer this without any spoilers.
Sure.
Looking at the trailer, it feels like a nice goodbye to the X-Men universe. However, we just talked about it. There's like a billion more X-Men movies.
There's so many more X-Men movies. I won't say anything other than what you, Jackman, and Patrick Stewart said. They said this is our last movie that we're doing is these characters, and they've rocked it since when they were cast in 1999 or 98. Whenever Singer was doing it, they've been these characters for 18, 19 years, and we've lived and breathed these characters with them in good movies and bad movies. And it's so amazing to see their energy together and the way they act together. Because a lot of that, even if you've never seen an X-Men movie, obviously you're watching Heroes, so you're a nerd. So you've probably seen you read all the comics, so it'll mean so much more to you. But if you get your friends to just go see it, I don't want to see a superhero movie. It's a sci-fi Western that will probably win some Oscars. I don't know if it's ready for Best Picture. I don't know if the world is ready to nominate a superhero film for Best Picture. But if I could nominate one, it would be Logan.
Well, you look at Creed. Creed is the 6th Rocky sequel, and it was nominated for an Academy Award. Sylvester Stallone was up for Best Supporting Actor. Who knows?
You're absolutely right,
We live
Robert.
in crazy times. I mean, you read that article about with the Academy Awards, it proves that we're living in a computer simulation because there's all these things like the Patriots' ultimate comeback in the last Super Bowl, Trump winning that election,
The Cubs
and
won.
the Cubs winning. That somebody's in there, they're typing in, they're playing with us. We're just all part of a giant computer matrix simulation.
Yes, the
None of us are
Matrix is real. You know what else isn't real? C.M. Parsons. He's part of the Matrix. He wrote me digitally saying, which movie would you rather be redone without studio interference? All of them. Let's go with Spider-Man 3, Fantastic Four, or Suicide Squad. Well, honestly, all three of them are great examples of studio interference. Which one because I would care the most about, and which ones just haven't hit it for me is Fantastic Four. I would like to see the Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, unfettered cosmic power of the Fantastic Four done right without an electrical Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Just do what they wrote. You got over 100 issues. You don't even need, just use the first 30. Bam. Oh my God. What? You have 6 movies. Duh. I don't even know how to explain this more clearly than use the comics as a blueprint. That's what we want to see in the Fantastic Four. You don't have to even set it in the 60s. Just use the flavor and essence of what they're doing. It's a family adventure in outer space, cosmic powers, aliens. I mean, it's not rocket science, but it is, I guess, for some people. So Spider-Man 3, Raimi did what he could do with all the interference. He had to chuck Venom in there. He hated Venom. He's a Stan Lee, Steve Ditko guy. He didn't want to use any of these new characters. And it shows. So there's a lot of the unfortunate things that happened in Spider-Man 3 was just because it was like a push and pull. But I still enjoyed a lot of Spider-Man 3. I didn't hate the movie. Suicide Squad, also, I enjoyed a lot of it. I didn't hate it. I just didn't like that. I could see, and a lot of people, especially if you're in the business, editors, you could see, you make films, you could see the forceful, weird hacking. You can feel the chainsaw and the actual saw itself, like cutting scenes apart and things being moved around that shouldn't have been redone. And I don't know. So, I mean, it is what it is. I don't need to see Suicide Squad redone. I would just hope that they do a better Suicide Squad 2. What are your thoughts? You got those three?
But
Which one you go?
for the specific question of movie remade with less studio interference, I'd probably go Spidey 3 because it had the sort of most like, this is nearly working, but there's too much jammed in, and now nothing makes sense, and there's like, I think that one for me is the one that has the most. I can see the intent and the bones and everything kind of taking a series of weird turns.
Right.
The Fantastic Four, like, while I'd love to see it redone, I don't know whether there was like a person who had a vision for a proper Galactus that was turned away or something like that. I don't know whether we had that. And Suicide Squad, like, may have had sort of issues at different phases of the. I don't know if the rumor's true about writing the script really quickly. That one maybe just needed like more time. I don't know. But the clearest answer to this question for me would be Spidey 3. Like, just try that one again and let it be as simple or complex as the filmmakers wanted it to be.
DJ?
Oh, you know what? I would actually go with Suicide Squad because it's one of the ones that you watch and you see there's like a movie that works in there as you're watching it. Like literally if you just edit it probably the way it was originally edited, it would have been fine.
Right.
Whereas like Fantastic Four, you just needed to do different. You just needed to do something different.
And also, let me just tangent a little bit. You mentioned Suicide Squad, and we talked about that concept art. It's online. Just type in Suicide Squad concept art and look at all of these things that should have been in the movie. They had Batman and Joker and not even meeting in the movie. It's like a missed opportunity. Robert, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think that people should take a page from what is working in popular culture. Game of Thrones, for instance. Hey, they use the novels. Harry Potter. Pretty much there's fealty to the storyline of those books. The Sookie Stackhouse novels that were, made into a great vampire show with the lead actor who's now been cast in X-Men.
Diehards of all three
show.
franchises are yelling at you right now about all of the many changes.
I'm sure they are, but let me tell you, I have a different comic book adaptation that I think was the most bastardized comic adaptation ever, which was League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Hello, it is a book about British Victorian superheroes from literature, and they couldn't even allow that to exist. They had to go throw in Tom Sawyer into the mix. I mean, come on, people.
And ruined Nemo and made me fall asleep. That movie is really bad.
I mean,
I made my dad go with me to that. I was so excited. I was like, "You're really gonna dig this." Ooh.
I passed out full snoring twice, like waking up in the theater, getting nudged by Holly.
I mean, I understand it was a difficult shoot, and Stephen Norrington gets a bad rap, but I understand.
Anybody
I get
who makes
all that.
Sean Connery quit the film business.
It's like.
But hang on, pick one of those three:
out of the three.
Spider-Man 3, Fantastic Four, Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, because they hired a trailer company, and that movie's, as a film editor myself, that movie drove me batty. There wasn't enough Batman in it to drive me batty, but the movie editing drove me batty. I'm like, they couldn't even cut a scene with Amanda Waller sitting at a dinner table having a conversation without cutting it like a trailer.
Well, they injected ADD into all the editors. So they already had editors who were squirrely and weird, like being force-fed intravenous coffee, and then they just injected deficit disorder.
It is the
attention.
worst. It is the worst. I'm sorry. I don't usually say this, but it is the worst edited major motion picture I've seen probably in 20 years, because it's not cut like a film.
Right.
It's cut like a trailer, even the scenes when people are talking.
Yeah.
And it drove me insane.
People will appreciate us stopping for this shout out. Shout out to the makeup people on Suicide Squad who took home an Oscar.
And
that's right.
Deservedly so. The DC
whether or not you
movies-
like their vision, they executed it to it.
The movie looked great, and the characters are great.
Yeah, the DC movies, everything looks really pretty in the DC movies.
For sure.
Yeah.
It deserves the Oscar, and it deserves a better sequel. So we all want Suicide Squad to be awesome. Let's go to Sean Clary asks, would you class 2015's Turbo Kid as a superhero movie? I loved it. It reminded me of movies from my childhood. If you don't know what Turbo Kid is, it's from the people who made ABCs of Death. They made a short, and then that short turned into Turbo Kid, which was a full-on kind of 80s exploitation, dystopian future with a kid, kind of 80s style, biking around. It's an enjoyable film. It's definitely done with a tongue-in-cheek approach. It's very cheap. It's very 80s. If you don't like 80s cheapness, avoid it. If you like 80s cheapness, enjoy this film, because that's what it is. It's a love letter to those shitty, rip-offs of The Road Warrior. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Have anybody, you guys seen Turbo Kid?
It was cool. I liked it, but you know what I want to give a shout out to?
What?
Turbo Killer. Turbo Killer, the 80s homage from Carpenter Brute.
Oh, you've shown me
Now,
that. It's
I'm
pretty
telling you, man,
beautiful.
this
Robert
is-
just free associating all over
The
the
word
place.
turbo, I'm just saying, Turbo Kid's fine. It gave me that 80s flavor, but
Right.
really gave me the 80s flavor that I love is Carpenter Brute's Turbo Killer. If you haven't seen it, look it up online. The guys who made it were running a Kickstarter campaign to make a feature length.
I back up you got to see it. It's so much fun. It's like if John Carpenter
And Lucio Fulci.
chilled out for about 2 days and concentrated to make this crazy music video, but also knew all about special effects, the nowadays crazy compositing, and just had that arsenal. That's what it feels like to me. It really is like it's a lot of different kinds of really amazing computer graphic shots, but it has the essence of John Carpenter behind it. So, or if you're John Carpenter, just get stoned and watch it. It's a tribute to you.
Yeah.
So.
Listen, I like Turbo Kid a lot. It's my type of movie. I wouldn't necessarily call it a superhero movie. It's just more like of a
Totally.
retro, grungy sci-fi flick, which
Yeah.
a lot of superhero fiction steals from a lot of different genres. So there's parts of it that are reflective of that, but it's just because that's one of the reasons I think a lot of us like that genre is because no matter what you're into, there's elements of it in superhero universes.
Yeah, it's sci-fi,
Yeah.
horror, goofy,
Yeah.
exploitation. It's goofy on purpose.
Yeah.
Well, because they're one of the great, it harks back to a movie too, sort of. You ever see Prayer of the Roller Boys?
Nope.
Did not.
Prayer of the Roller Boys is a movie about a white supremacist rollerblading gang from Venice
Ugh.
and the people that fight against them. I'm telling
Well,
you.
sometimes
Wow.
people have to watch movies so others of us don't. And Robert, you've just nailed the one I'll never see in my life. I'm glad you suffered through
Brought
it.
to you from the company that brought you Solar Crisis.
Another
one you
fantastic.
can't
I did
There
see
we go.
Solar Babies, but we're getting way off point. K. John asks, "Hey, what 5 comic book heroes would be on your all-star squad to save the world from destruction?" Robert, your 5 comic book heroes as part of a universal all-star squad to save the world.
Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, John Jones, Snapper Car.
That's too many.
That's fine.
Okay, I'll
All
take
right.
Snapper Car away.
All right.
The Justice League of America.
Yes. DJ.
Oh man, Superman, Wolverine, Silver Surfer. Are we saving the universe or the world?
From destruction, just the world from
just
destruction.
the world
Yep.
from destruction. Captain America and Spider-Man.
All right. I am gonna go. Do you want to go or do
Go.
you
I
wanna- All
am
I'm gonna
thinking-
go with Matter Eater Lad, Speedball, Darkhawk, Captain Universe, Mrs. Universe, whichever version you want, and Dr. Fate, baby.
Now, your Darkhawks, are you not 90s Marvel Darkhawk?
Total 90s Darkhawk. Has to be the cheesy
I
one.
love
Yeah.
Darkhawk.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I don't know, man. Wonder Woman, Wiccan, Oracle, comic book heroes.
2 more.
Alana and Marco from Saga.
Bam.
There it is.
How about Kickers Incorporated? Let's just
Ooh.
get them a call.
Let's get that. I want that
them a
new
call.
universe, son. It's exploding. Yes, right. What was the robot one? Where it's like, I'm a weird robot. I'm all red. I can't remember what he was called. Somebody get me Night Mask. I need him on the phone immediately.
Starbrand.
Yeah, Starbrand. Hey. Woo. We're going old school. All right. Eduardo Anasco asks, with the success of Lego Batman, do you guys think you'd like to see a Funko Batman or a Funko Deadpool movie? You know what? The Funko guys already have enough of my money. Every time I go to one of these conventions, I'm like, I'm not buying any more of these stupid Funko. Ooh, and I have to buy. They're like $9. I keep them in their stupid box. They're like lined up like some kind of obsessive hoarder on a wall of Funkos where you're like, that's my Game of Thrones. There's a Spider-Man. There you have Batman. They have Joker, the Dark Knight Batman. Then you have some monsters. There's a creature from the Black Lagoon. There's too many of them. There's too many Funkos. I don't want to see a movie. You will break me. My house will be made of Funkos.
Did you see the little like Funko Rocket Raccoon short?
I refuse to see it.
Yeah, you
no,
should watch
somebody
it.
made it?
I think.
Is it Loot
I
Crate?
think it was an official. Maybe. I don't remember much about the circumstances
cute?
around it, but it was adorable.
Wow, I might have to see it. What do you guys think about this Funko movie idea?
What are the characters going to go around in? I mean, Lego movies have master builders in them.
Bam.
So you can build a Wayne Mansion.
Yeah.
There's nothing with Funko you can build. There can't even be a Funko City.
Touché.
They're just standing around in their cardboard
Hang
boxes
on.
and they don't do anything.
Wonder Woman has her invisible
true.
jet. They've got cars and vehicles now.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
Part of
okay,
this.
all right. I'll give him that. All I know is that Campia has a Red Reddington from The Blacklist. He's got a James Spader Funko figure. I'm like, oh man, I got to bustle on that.
See what I mean? Funko has enough of our money to stay out of our movies.
I would say the same thing about Lego. Lego has too much of my money too. But like those movies are the best toy ads ever. Like
Yes.
I'm just kind of over Batman. Like he's a great character. I've had enough of him. But when I was watching that movie and they had what was the crawler or whatever it was?
That's right.
Yeah, that thing. I was like, oh damn it, I want that.
That would be
I
pretty
want
cool
it.
as a Lego.
The serious answer is that Lego spent years, like via the video games, developing sort of a distinct storytelling style and sense
Yeah.
of humor that went with them. And so my initial answer was like, well, I don't know if other brands or types of things can
Right.
do that. But
Yeah.
then again, that Funko short was adorable.
They got Lincoln
So-
Logs. There's a Slinky. What else is coming at me? I can't. Funko, just keep it as toys.
Where's
A
the
dead-
Gnip Gnop
I know,
movie?
right?
Come on.
Hungry Hungry Hippos, the movie. I don't know what's happening.
They're
We're
too
moving
hungry.
on. They're too
hungry, too hippos.
They're too hungry. There's only 2 of them, and they're really hungry.
What happened to the other 2
I
hippos?
know, they got eaten. It's madness. It's a sweaty question of the week. Here we go. It's from Shubhut asking, when Dr. Strange mentions me, Jon Schnepp, the real world equals the comic world colliding. That's right. There's a little quote right there. It's that's right. I just call him the Batch. That's how close we are. He calls me by my last name. I got to say thank you, Benedict, and anybody who was involved in letting him know about our show, Collider Heroes. Thanks everybody for watching. Anybody from DC, Marvel, Valiant, any of the comic book people who are producers watching our show, thanks for checking it out. We're only here to make your guys' job a little bit easier by helping you either check out some comic books, drop some knowledge here and there to get these movies to where we at least personally would love them to be as comic book proof as possible, and to cross over is what I'd say. Anybody want to add anything to anybody watching out there?
Yes.
I can't
and
believe that happened.
Yeah.
Speaking of the batch, because I just want to say thank you to Disney for releasing Doctor Strange on 3D Blu-ray, which comes out today. There's special editions at various big box retailers, but the fact that 3D at home is dying on the vine,
Right.
and I like it. I think 3D at home was tremendous. I'm sorry it didn't catch on. Yes, I even bought the 3D conversion of Bernardo Bertolucci's The Last Emperor, so I could watch it at home in 3D.
And who would have known that I saw like 4 different versions of that, like in various 4-hour lengths. I don't know which is the original Last Emperor, and I didn't even know it was in 3D. But
It
now
wasn't.
I do.
They did a conversion.
Well, there you go.
You can only get it in Italy, but if you look at Amazon UK,
For the true Blu-ray sweaty, if you get the Blu-ray edition, it's in 3D. What do you think, DJ?
About that quote.
No,
there,
just talking.
About our proposed show, Schnepp and Batch?
Benedict Cumberbatch, if you're out there, chaostheory.com, chaostheorycomic.com.
There you go.
Check out my comic. If you were a Doctor Strange fan, I'm sure you'll love zombie dinosaurs.
They're very connected.
Yeah.
The Z-Rex
Yes.
eats sorcerers. Amy, any thoughts about talking to the people right there?
No, just hello. It's good to be here. But yeah, we proposed a show, Schnepp and Batch. I would
Yes.
watch it. I would watch
Yeah.
it every week forever. I can't believe that happened. I'm glad you wore this shirt today.
Yes, that's right. I wore this in honor of Doctor Strange. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. And we've come to bargain for next week's episode 99. We are nearing our 100th episode. Thanks for being part of it. Where can we find you online, Robert?
well, you can find me angry at Bandai in Japan because, as you all know, Space Battleship 2202 debuted. Space Battleship Yamato debuted this past weekend in Japan, and I pre-ordered the Blu-ray, and they're not putting English subs on it like they did with the first season of 2199.
Does that make you angry?
I'm very angry. I'm more angry with the Japanese than the Fukushima nuclear power plant.
Oof.
Why are you not doing this? Why are you not putting English subs on Space Battleship Yamato 2202?
All right. Well,
Oh, find me at Burnett RM on Twitter, find me at RM Burnett on Instagram, or find me at Robert Meyer Burnett on Facebook.
or find him very angry about this horrible subtitle
It's
thing.
terrible. I pre-ordered the disc, no subtitles. Bandai, why?
Hey, before I go any further, let me just talk about subtitles for 1 second as we tangent, because
Yeah.
the show's not ending yet. You thought it was over. A lot of people already signed off. They're done. They're just saying whatever. Screw it. Now there's some extra nuggets just for you people who stuck around. Check
This
it
is
out.
the post-credit
This
scene.
is the post-credit scene. So I ordered Train to Busan because Holly hadn't seen it yet. I was like, wait till you see this movie on Xbox. Oh, man, it's so good. No subtitles. Not available.
What?
We couldn't watch it. It said it had the subtitles. We bought it. It didn't have the subtitles. Just want to complain about something with
The
subtitles.
Well Go USA Blu-ray has it.
I know,
And
so-
a great making of it. Train to Busan was awesome.
Yeah. So buy Train to Busan on Blu-ray is what I'm trying to say, because it's an amazing zombie movie. Speaking about zombies, DJ, where can people find you online?
You can find me online at DJ Talks Trash on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. If you want to follow my podcast with Sam Basher from SourceFed Nerd, you can check that out on Twitter on Only Stupid Answers. Take out the vowels from stupid. Or if you want to listen to podcasts, Audio Boom, Stitcher, the iTunes, Google Play Music, all that stuff.
You made some of those up.
Nope. Player FM. There's a ton of them. There's so many of them.
Indiegogo Chaos Theory. Get that comic.
ChaosTheoryComic.com.
He's got a couple days left to get that zombie dinosaur zombie flavor. Amy Dallen, where can people find you online?
You can find me at Enthusiamy on Twitter and pretty much everywhere. And thank you to those of you who asked for the link for the new comic book show I'm doing over on Geek and Sundry on Wednesdays called The Wednesday Club. We're
Nice.
talking about Legion tomorrow.
Bam. Sounds good. Tune into that. I'm Jon Schnepp. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, just at Jon Schnepp. You're watching Collider Heroes. I'll see you next week.
Hey guys, if you like this video, click the thumbs up button. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll help you stay up to date with everything we've got going on here at Collider.